Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. I apologize for the super close-up view and for the weird angle. My lighting in here this morning, for whatever reason, is particularly awful, and it's snowing outside. Everything is coated in snow, so I just opened the nearest window and hoping that natural light is going to give us a better a better idea of colors and all that good stuff for these projects. So what I want to do is just run down real quick. Excuse me. I want to just give you a real quick look at all of the individual sheaths that I just finished for my buddy Scott from Colorado. So Scott lives in the Boulder area. He reached out about a year ago about an El Chete sheath was the original project, and then after we discussed it in a few email exchanges, he also started adding other things to it, and the list just kept getting longer and longer. So it became apparent this was going to be a bit of a long project, but then he also very graciously uh, kept telling me over and over just to extend his deadline, extend it, and that got a little bit out of control since they were almost a year later, or maybe a full year later. But part of why I did it was because he's just a super gracious guy, and he kept deciding, adding some stuff on as we went. But mostly, I think because he's just a very nice person and very generous by nature. And over the last year, I've been so fortunate to be able to get to know Scott and call him my friend. And I actually had a chance to meet up with him while I was out in Colorado for a conference for my girlfriend's company. So it was really cool. We got to just sit down and have. We were at like a tea house in Boulder, so it was really cool. We got to meet Scott, and the idea that I had in my head for this guy was like just the way he had talked about knives and gear was so put together, professional, eloquent, and man, he really knows his stuff when it comes to the sheaths and the knives themselves. And so I had this idea of like some middle-aged guy who's like a banker by day and like outdoor enthusiast by night, or well, by whatever, by all the time. So it was really cool to meet him, and turned out he was like half the age of what I was imagining, and yeah, just a super chill guy. So Scott, thank you, man. I really appreciate your friendship and your lenience with the deadlines on this. This was an awesome pile of gear to work on, and it was just a real privilege. So, all right, that story out of the way. I'm gonna blow through these real quick. I want to keep this video reasonably short, and then I'll separate out into separate videos later of each of the individual projects so you get a more in-depth description and look at each one of those. So just real quick, I'm going to go through these. First up, we have if I can find them. All right. First up, we have a couple of flashlight sheets. So we've got one for the Olight S1R baton and one for Streamlight ProTac 2L. The ProTac 2L is done in Cryptek Typhon, and it is on a tech lock. You can see it clips in there, and there you go. You have multicam on a molly lock for the Olight. This guy's in there like so. Moving to, let's see, we've got Coyote Brown with multicam over it. Sorry guys, I've had this awful cough for like a month now. Trying to make sure I'm not coughing on anybody's projects, but all right, this is an OHT holder. Automatically deploys your pliers, automatically collapses them when you resheath, and it is on a tech lock as well. We have a Bark River PKS EDC, which is a really sweet small knife. I'm gonna have to pick one of these up. This guy's an LMAX black micarta handles, and the sheath is in, this is actually cowhide embossed to look like alligator, but it's very rugged, very accurate to the feel of cowhide or of alligator, unless you really start to squeeze it and feel the leather give a little bit more than alligator would. But yeah, very convincing imitation. And I've dyed it burgundy, so you get a nice burgundy alligator look to it. The kydex itself is black, and the carry clip is a combat loop. If you haven't checked out combat loops, they're very, very similar to tech locks. A slightly different locking mechanism and opening mechanism on the device itself, but very similar in terms of how you carry and what it offers and what positions you can do. Identical grid hole sizing, all that good stuff. All right, PKS EDC, love this thing. Next up, we've got the Tops Little Bro. This is a great small knife from Tops. I'd never checked out until Scott sent one to me for this project here, but we have it here in Coyote Gray, which is a relatively new color offered by the kydex world, and I'm mildly obsessed with it. I think it's my favorite solid color of kydex. It just goes with so many things. And then we have Cryptek Olive Drab as the, I believe that's Olive Drab. You know what? That is actually Cryptek Flat Dark Earth. It's hard to tell the difference, but yeah, pretty similar to an olive drab color. It's more of like an army green color, really. I think they kind of missed the mark on the Flat Dark Earth just a little bit, but really love the color itself. So that guy, nice ballistic draw. It doesn't have much of a click in, but enough to retain it and hold it. Your knife is nice and secure, no rattle, no play, and this is on a tech lock. We also have a Bark River Aurora Mini, and this is one of my favorite knives. I don't own one, but geez, I know I would love using it, and you just kind of get a sense for it after using enough knives, what you would like, what you wouldn't like, what would perform, what wouldn't, and then it's just a matter of how well it does its job. But I trust Bark River implicitly with everything they make. I've loved every single thing that I've used from them. So yeah, but this guy in CPM 3V, beautiful knife. I'd love to know what these handle scales are. I'm not actually sure what it. I know it's micarta. I just don't know what the color exactly is. It's like a black and gray, ashy kind of swirl look to it. I love them. For the sheath, again, I have abused my ability to choose some of the colors. He left some of it up to me and he chose some of them, so you're going to get a mix. But this guy here I chose, this is in Coyote Gray with Cryptek Typhon Micro as the accent. I thought that would match the handles very nicely, and this guy is on a combat loop. Alright, moving on, we have a Silky Ultra XL. And this thing is pretty cool. He asked for it in black basket weave and Cryptek blood red and a nylon dangler. I actually cannibalized this nylon from a belt because I thought that texturing pattern would look really cool against the black basket weave. And you can see I've stiffened it, reinforced it with some kydex plates on both sides of it. We've got molly locks for a carry system, as well as the utilization of both D-rings for baldric setup. It draws out pretty easy, clicks in nice, and there's just a little bit of play. It doesn't have quite the same contour and conventional shaping to mold onto as a knife, so you can see there's just a tiny bit of play, but you're not going to feel that as you're wearing it, and it's tight enough, I think, that you won't notice it. So you'll be able to draw it out, and I think you can probably just do that all one-handed off your side, to be honest with you. And if you're baldric carrying, obviously you'd probably want to, I would actually set it up to carry, I'd probably actually set it up to carry like that, even though it's a little bit backward, but I'd probably do that and draw it out like so. Anyway, just my 2 cents. Alright, we also have a still hatchet. Excuse me. This guy's in multicam, and we've got molly locks. You can see this grid panel back here allows you to wear or position the mollies at varying widths. However, be forewarned, molly spacing is particular, so you need to have it set up in 1.5 inch increments. Right now it's at 1.5. I think this is where the weight is best centered. As far as it feels right here, this is where it wants to hang straight. Of course, spanning across and making it wider, it's still going to hang straight because these guys are going to make sure it does, but the weight distribution will feel a little bit different. So Right now it's at 1.5 inches. You could span over to move this guy to that drill hole row, and that would put it at 3 inches. So it's either going to be 1.5 or 3 inches. You don't want to go over to 3 3/4 because you're not going to actually be able to align that with molly webbing correctly. However, you can also move this one over. So you've got several different positions that you can orient it in, and 2 different widths moving across in different positions. So that's what we got for you there. To draw this guy out, you just have to separate the back of the kydex with your thumb and clear. You just want to make sure that you get the butt of the hatchet clear of the kydex, putting it, and then obviously it'll just draw out like so. Putting it back in, I would just put it into about there, give it a good hammer home. It is a little bit difficult to operate. Part of the reason why is because the shape of this particular hatchet is flared out on the top and the bottom, so it doesn't matter which direction you're trying to escape, you're always going to find some resistance as you're pulling out. And then there's also this extremely tapered wedge. This is an aggressive taper for a hatchet, so you find a little bit more resistance than you might normally. And then the creme de la creme, not the creme de la creme, what's the term? The pièce de résistance. The final straw that broke the camel's back is that all of the corners here, even though they're chamfered on the sides, still culminate in a 90-degree angle. So you have 4 90-degree angles digging into the back of the sheath. So you are going to generate some kydex dust for a while, but yeah. So there you go. There's that guy. All right. Moving on, we have a knife from Quick Hatch. I don't know the model of this thing, but this is a really cool knife. He might have even had it custom made for him, I think he had said, but yeah. I'll have that information in the individual video for you when I do this thing. Really cool black basket weave with Cryptek Coyote Brown for the accent reinforcement plates and the ferro rod loop. The ferro rod is going to be a fire rod from Exotac, which I'll actually be sending him directly from Amazon. And then we have a dangler on here. He's getting 5 different leather danglers. All of them are excuse me. Oh man, this cough is killing me. All of them are slightly different colors. This guy here, I believe, is a dark mahogany. I'd done one mahogany light and one mahogany dark, just saturating the leather a little more with the dye to darken it, all that good stuff. But really cool black edge coat on him. I think this thing looks super classy. Got his initials stamped in there, the logo, of course, and there we go. All right, next up, if you guys haven't checked out Firekeeper Forge, you really need to go do that. Sam is an amazing bladesmith. He's just he's next level. He's a total prodigy of the art. This guy here is obviously a beautiful hand forged knife called the Wilderness EDC. Normally he does a 4-inch blade, but Scott custom ordered this one as a 6-inch blade. It's in Crew Forge V steel with desert ironwood handles on it and these beautiful mosaic pins, which my camera does not seem to want to focus on, but you guys get the gist. This thing is just superb. Really amazing. The sheath, I got to decide the colors on this one. I did run it past him, and he said he loves it. So we've got True Hide Whip texture and True Hide Whiskey texture, which are leather-looking kydex options. You can see that leather texture in there. Whip texture is black, whiskey texture is that brown, and Exotac fire rod down there. And then we've got this weird plate on the back with the D-rings. The plate is a layer of whip texture on each side of a layer of brown, so you can see that 3-layered effect we got there. It's really beautiful. Nice seamless edge all the way around. And then it's all attached to a harness system. The D-rings run out to harnesses here, and you can position the D-rings in a bunch of different spots along the edge of this. You can do any combination you want to do. but you essentially can, you can also put the plate on either side of the sheath. So this is totally ambidextrous. What this ultimately allows you to do is carry the knife on the harness system on your chest or on your back in a pile of different positions, angles, orientations, all that good stuff. I'm actually not even sure how many positions you can achieve with this, and sorry guys, and you can always drill more holes to figure out different angles, different positions, all that. So it's impossible for me to determine exactly how many you can rock with this thing, but there are a lot of them. Full disclosure, it does take a bit of time to transition between the positions. You have to remove the plate, take all these screws out, reposition it all, and then figure out how the strap, how long each strap has got to be. You do have to do a fair bit of adjusting, so I don't want to make any claims that this is a quick or easy thing to do, but it can definitely be done. It's not hard. It's a simple concept. It's just time consuming. So currently I have it set up to be on the chest with the handle down. How you want to put this guy on, at least in its current configuration, is you just slip your left arm through it like so. You put that knife across your chest, and you got to find the dangling buckle behind you. So remember, leave the one by the handle undone. Suspend it by the other two. You'll just reach around like so and click your buckle in, and just readjust however you need to on your chest. Sorry, folks. And there you go. You've got a good carry on your chest like so. This is one of my favorite ways to carry now. Just supremely comfortable, and I think it looks pretty cool, and also just frees up your belt for other gear. As far as like a setup for backpacking, hiking, and if you just happen to want to be wearing like sweatpants or athletic shorts or whatever without a belt, this is an excellent option. This and Baldric carrier, my two favorite carries. Just, the need for a belt is completely eliminated, so I feel like I could just throw on my athletic shorts if I wanted to go for a hike or jog or whatever, and still be able to have my knife on me, which is valuable to me. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan. Exotac fire rod there. I'm just going to leave this guy on for the remainder of the video because I really like it, and I want to show off the harness systems. This is something I've only started doing in the last 6 months or so, and I think I've kind of stepped the game up a bit with how I construct them, and pardon me. I just want to show it off a little bit longer. All right, so we got Ka-Bar Becker BK2 legendary knife. This thing is an absolute beast. Really like it, and sheath came out pretty cool too. So we have Storm Gray with Cryptek Altitude over it, which is a really nice color combination. Because Altitude has that kind of dark gray hue, it's almost a perfect match between the gray in the Cryptek Altitude as well as the Storm Gray Kydex here. So nice little color match. We have an Exotac fire rod down below, and I've used a gray shock cord that actually matches up really nicely with all. It just blends well with the grays in the Altitude pattern. We have, I believe this is the other mahogany, and it's a slightly lighter mahogany. Got his initials stamped in the back there, and oh yeah, obviously it's the leather dangler, and we've got some mollies here. This one does not have an additional D-ring point for Baldric, so we're looking at either dangler or mount it to some molly webbing on a pack or a vest. Not quite a ballistic draw. Really great retention, no rattle, no play, and you'll lose the knife, or you'll lose the sheath for sure if you have that, if you have that sheath angled downward whatsoever. So there you go. All right, Becker BK9. Next one up in this. Oh, actually, we skipped over the 7. He didn't order a sheath for the 7, but we got the 9 here. Love this knife. This guy is on a leather dangler in walnut brown. By the way, I didn't specifically choose colors per sheath for the danglers. I just wanted 5 different options so he'd be able to switch out whichever ones he wants. It's very easy. They're all the same size. He can just take out 2 screws and move the danglers to excuse me, to whichever sheath he chooses. But all right, again, I went with a storm gray base, and this guy is Cryptek Coyote Brown over the top of it. Super rugged, just really cool colors. We've got obviously leather dangler and mollies, and they are both attached to a large floated plate on here. The plate is in black and Cryptek brown. Can't really see too well, but this is a two-layer seamless plate there, similar to the plate on the back of this guy here. Actually, I did that with pretty much all of them. All right, and then we have another attach point down at the bottom for a D-ring, for baldric. So you clip into the 2 D-rings like that and be able to carry this as a baldric system, meaning 2-point sling hanging on your non-dominant side. You reach across and draw, and draw with your dominant hand. The draw on this is super smooth, just about perfect. All right, there we go. BK9 Exotac fire rod there. Now we have the Phobos. I think this is the Phobos MB Canine. I think that's the model is. Someone correct me down below if I've got that screwed up. But just really beautiful knife. This guy's produced by Bark River. I don't know anything about Phobos and what the connection is between the Bark River production and Phobos as a company, but man, everything I've seen from Phobos as well as Bark River is just supremely high quality, beautiful craftsmanship as usual. So I love all their stuff so far. The sheath here we've got in black basket weave with Cryptek Neptune as the accent. We've got a black leather dangler. Same deal on a plate with some mollies. We have a holder on the bottom for that Olight S1R baton, and for an Exotac fire rod here, standard setup. And actually, while I'm here, just gonna investigate this for a second. Nah, all right, cool. Sorry, I was just thinking to myself which direction that Exotac should go, but I think I got it right. And then obviously we've got that D-ring at the back, so you can carry this dangler, mollies, or baldric. Excuse me. And then we also have a pouch here from Beach and Tactical, or Prepper's Bunker. But Jacob Peterson over there, really awesome craftsmanship, super great guy. You guys need to go check him out and get some of his stuff. He does some amazing 2-point slings for rifles or for baldric carry. Yeah, just an awesome guy. Full disclosure, I broke the pouch when I was moving some stuff to a Kydex Day event. I had just too much stuff in the box, and I broke that little clasping mechanism. So I contacted Jacob and asked him, how can I fix this? And so he apparently didn't make the clasp mechanism itself. It was outsourced to another maker, so he contacted that maker, and that guy has since updated and made a much stronger design. So I'm actually going to be shipping this sheath directly to that guy to update the design, fix that on here, and then he'll forward it to Scott. So I'm not sure what that clasp is going to look like. I just know that it's supposed to be a more reliable, stronger close and all that. So apart from that, this pouch is just so nice. You guys really need to check out Jacob Peterson's work over there, Prepper's Bunker, Outdoors, or Beach and Tactical. Awesome stuff. So right now I'm just using this little cord adjuster as the point of attach to keep that shut. But sorry guys. Obviously, man, this is killing me. Obviously with the updated design, it's going to look a little bit more natural there. It still looks awesome in my opinion, but so there we go. Got that. And lastly, we have a Topcell Chet. This guy is just an absolute beast. If you guys have followed me for long, you've seen a few El Chete sheaths on my channel. You know how I do. A lot of El Chete sheaths, including the factory sheath, is a is an open spine concept. And what that means is that instead of having a taco or a pancake design, there's just an open slit all the way up the spine, which helps to allow this weird shaped blade to escape freely. The problem with it is that it makes the overall sheath extremely flimsy, and that's just not, I just don't like it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. If you're making those kinds of sheaths, whatever, that's totally up to you. And if it does the trick, if you're happy with it, if your customers are happy with it, more power to you. I just personally like something that's a little bit more rugged and rigid, and yeah, I just put my confidence in this over that. So what we have here is Coyote Brown for the base layer, Coyote Gray in the middle here, and then Cryptek Olive Drab on the rest of it. You can see the same idea we got going. We've got this molly locks, and you can span 1.5 inches or 3 inches. Right now it's set up at 3, obviously. We've got mollies. We have a D-ring leather dangler. This guy's in burgundy, I believe. And then another D-ring down there, so you can carry this molly, baldric, or dangler, however you choose. Down here we have a holder for the ProTac Streamlight ProTac 2L flashlight, and then I'm going to have to send it from Amazon, but we've got a Nano Striker XL from Exotac going here. And then on the front, this is a universal tech lock adapter, which allows you to piggyback any item that has a tech lock installed on it. So just quick, just to show you, fits in like so, quickly detaches. You can even put this Leatherman OHT on there. It's on a tech lock, like so. That Streamlight ProTac 2L, it's on a tech lock. So yeah, you can just really quickly totally reconfigure what you've got going on the face of this sheath by way of that tech lock adapter. It's a very strong design, very versatile, very easy to use, and then obviously gives you the benefit of immediately being able to separate your larger system into a smaller system and a big knife. Yeah, so you can just do a lot of stuff with that. So, alright guys, that is all I have for you. I really appreciate you sticking around, and I know even blazing through like that, we're still almost 30 minutes into this video. So I really appreciate you sticking around, and I hope you guys tune in for the next one. But for the meantime, if you liked all these sheaths, if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you like the channel, subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know which sheath and which knife you guys like the best. Doesn't have to be corresponding sheath and knife, but let me know which sheath you like the best. Let me know which knife you like the best, and why. So, so sorry for all the coughing, guys. I promise I'm more miserable than you are, with my coughing at least. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Stick around for the next one. God bless.